Okay, welcome to Miku Walk Cycle tutorial part 3. Okay, so the thing that we want to focus on right now is the arms are looking a little bit too stiff. And you notice how there's some popping and we're not really sure what that is. I play with it a little bit and I have determined what that is. This character, it does it a little bit more than some of the others I've worked on. But this is a great example for me to show you guys how to fix some errors in your animation. So let's really take a close look at what's happening. So she starts to turn, which is good, and notice that little pop there. You see how she readjusts exactly right there? We want to fix that. So what we want to do is we're going to take all these control objects and we're going to go into the graph editor. So you want to work with your curves. Now I want a smooth transition from here to here and here. All these keys are miscellaneous and I don't need them. So I'm going to delete all these keys. Alright? Delete. So now we're going to have a nice smooth transition from here to here. And we're going to do the same thing to here. And we're just going to go down the line. And as I said before, the problem with hitting S is you are keying everything. And so you're going to have to counter animate against yourself when you are doing it this method. Now, using just with these corrections, let's take a look and see if we're getting a nicer results now. That's a lot nicer now. Notice that we're not getting that weird pop. Okay, it's still a little bit stiff and robotic, but we're not getting that weird transition from where it comes off. So we can push that a little more now. Maybe to exaggerate it a bit. Maybe let's push that up some. Let's rotate that out a little more. And let's rotate that back some. Alright. And now, let's go to here. Just bring that up a bit. See how we're starting to get a nice kind of a S, like a curve in the spine? That's a good thing. Alright, this might be pushing it a little bit too far, but we want to exaggerate it so that we really know that we're getting it. And I think this is going to do pretty well for us. Let's go to 22, hit S, and now let's test it out. Okay, I like that shoulder movement a little bit more now. She's got a little bit more of a purpose when she walks. We can dim that down if we want to. But overall, I think that's doing a lot better for the side-to-side movement and everything. Okay, so let's play with the spine a little bit as she's walking. We've lost a little bit of that falling sense. So what we're going to do to correct this, also you notice that on the legs, it seems like she's sliding a little bit. We don't want this skating thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this key here, and we're going to raise this up. So let's go to the ball rotate, and let's just push that just a little bit. And let's maybe push that there. Maybe just a little bit less balance, so it looks like she's falling more. Then we're going to rotate this down a little bit more. Not that much. That's probably pretty good there. Okay. And let's try that. So now let's go to 22 and hit S. And then let's go to 11 and take that, rotate X, key selected, key selected, key selected. And we want to ball rotate. It is at 13, so that 13 would be here. All right. Now, it's still sliding a little bit, so what we're going to do is at frame 3, we're going to rotate this forward again. Let me see. Let me go into the graph editor and see where the rotate X is doing. Okay, let's take and delete these keys out. I think that'll do better for us there. Let's delete that as well. Alright, let's try that. See, I think that'll do better for us now. So, at frame 6, of course, we want to come up a little bit, which the same will be at 16. So let's take rotate X and key selected there. So now what it'll do there. Alright. So let's see if we can fix the sliding a little bit. Alright, so that's a little better there. But at frame 3, let's go ahead and crank that ball rotate up again. So it looks like she's starting to bring it up off the ground. And we're going to do 36. Okay. And then we're going to go to frame 11. Actually, we're going to go to frame 13. And put that at 36. Alright. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's a lot better now. Looks like she's actually starting to pick it up off the ground now. Still a little bit of a slide. So what we're going to do to prevent that slide is we're going to bring it up. Let's see. Well, there's two things we can do now. We can either bring it up and translate Y so it's off the ground, or we can translate it so that it doesn't look like it's sliding as much. Because that shouldn't be moving in the time. Actually, this might, planting the heel might help. Let's go ahead and plant that heel, because that's something I wanted to knock out immediately anyway. So, to plant the heel faster, what we're going to do is, right now it plants at 3. So we want the, I believe, heel rotate Z to 0 out. Okay. This, in and of itself, is going to happen, like, here, on frame 2. Okay. And that's a lot better there, nicer. And we're also going to take this tangency and maybe like that. No, we don't want to mess with the tangency. Let's flatten that. Yeah, that'll work. Except we're going to crank that up a little more so it's a little nicer. So a nicer plant. Let's say 27 for that. Key selected. Key selected. Let's go to frame 11 and put that on 27. Key selected. Alright, now let's take this frame here, heel rotate Z, and right now it is happening here. Let's put that on 12 and drag that to 12. Alright, so that happens a little sooner. Okay, there's a little bit of a let's see, we can look at the translate Z. What is this for? We delete this. What does it give us? Okay, frame 12, we just need to drop it down a little more, that's all. Okay. Let's try to translate y of negative 2.2. And we will then go to frame 2 and negative 2.2. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's a little better now. All right. So now if we take a look at this, it's a lot nicer. We're getting a nice kind of a toe stomp there. That's hitting and flapping down the way it should. Let's go ahead and take the feet and flare them out a little bit. This is usually something I do towards the end, but I think it's going to work for this character if we go ahead and knock this out now. So let's go ahead and take the rotate, now rotate X, no, rotate Z, there you go. Alright, rotate Z. Let's do that and see what that looks like. Nope, rotate Y, okay. That'd be a little easier for me. Okay, so we're actually using the actual rotate Y and Z for that, so 0, heel rotate Y, heel rotate X, and there's good there. Alright, and now let's go ahead and bring that over to there. Let's do that in the front view. Not quite to the line, maybe like right there. Let's go like right there. And let's try that. Alright. Now let's go to frame 22 and hit S, and then let's go to frame 11. And again, we would be using the actual rotation values mirrored over, but we're just going to have to kind of eyeball it for the sake of time, because this change can't take any more than a few moments. A lot of other stuff I got to do. So, okay. And let's see what that looks like. Alright, very interesting. Alright, so we're starting to get a little bit better now. Alright, so now you can see how it's starting to come together. That really helped it. That helped us quite a bit. And she is still a little bit too far forwards. So, what we're going to do is we're going to undo what we first did at the beginning of the last video. We're going to push this a little forwards. And then bring it up a little bit. And then bring this here. And then maybe come up here. Alright. Go here, hit S, Go to frame 11. Key selected. And let's see here. I think we mess with this one here. So translate Z. Stick my finger there. Let's go to 11. That's pretty good there. Alright. Looks like she's falling a little bit more now. Maybe go to frame 11 and rotate this down a little more. So rotate X. Let's put that at 15. And then let's go to here. Rotate X. Let's put that at 15. And let's go to 22. Propagate those changes over. Let's see what that gives us. It's a little more power walk than I want. Okay, but due to the speed and tempo that we set up, I kind of set this up at 22 frames on 24 frames per second as kind of a brisk walk. So that's kind of working for what we were trying to do there. So that's not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and knock out the hips. So we want the hips to kind of swish from side to side. So as she is, let's see, when would be a good point to do this? Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to take all of our information on the hips, and with the exception of rotate Y, there shouldn't be anything. So let's just make sure. Alright, rotate X and Z, and there is. So let's delete all this. Delete. Okay. So let's go ahead and do it at our contact point. So at frame Z, let's throw our hips out like this. Maybe -12. Okay. And then at frame 22, we'll just key selected. And then at frame 11, we will go to 12. Key selected. All right. That's way too much. It's extremely feminine, but that's okay. Now to see what we're doing with the hips, let's go ahead and hide the skirt. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, it's pushing it extremely way over there, but okay, 22 should be here. Key selected. There we go. And that's a lot better there. Okay, a little bit exaggerated, but you know, not too bad. And we're getting that nice sort of a S spine shape, which is good as well. Let's go ahead and put the skirt back on. So let's go ahead and play with these arms some more. You know, I'm just kind of going back and forth playing with different areas. All right, so we want to try to create a sense of weight with the shoulders. This is the next thing on the checklist that I usually have to deal with in walk cycles. So this arm right now, we're not even worried about the interpenetration yet. As it comes back, we want it to kind of slow and then speed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to frame 6. And we are going to attack that curve. So we're going to be messing with the rotate X, I believe. And yes, all right. So let's go to the rotate X. Let's go to this curve here. And let's make it so that it's a little more like this. And then it kind of gets steeper. And then we'll just do that. Okay. So let's see what that does. So that should make it go a little bit slower at first and then speed up as it starts to fall, which is what we want. Which is a little better. If you look at the comparison there, it's kind of more smooth. And there's our timing fixed a little bit. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and add some overlap to the elbow as well. Right now we only have a few keys on the elbow, which is perfect, very good. So let's go to the rotate X. And at about frame 8, actually let's at about frame 7, let's do this. Let's take this here and let's create some overlap. So let's put this at about 53, just so we exaggerate it. And that is right after 6. So after 16, meaning frame 17, we will put this maybe about right there for what we're doing. I think we did 56. So let's try that. And key selected. All right. Let me make sure that that's correct. So what do we do at frame 7 again? 53. Okay. So let's put that at 53 as well. Okay, now notice that having done that, it messed our curves up. So to fix our curves, we're just going to go ahead and smooth that entrance back in a little bit. Alrighty then. I'm sure we did the same over here, which is not too bad. So yeah, that's okay for what we're doing there. Alright, so let's see what we're creating having done those changes there. Alright, so there's a little bit of a hang there, and then at frame 11, we're going to go ahead and speed this up by taking this and throwing it back. So this is going to create a little bit of an overshoot. Maybe even come out a little bit. Alright. And I don't really want it that bad, but that's good enough. Okay. Alright. And then at frame here, that's already coming out, so we should be getting that nice. Yes, okay. And then here, let's just overshoot that a little bit. And that's not too bad there. Alright. So let's propagate those changes over to 1. Key selected. Key selected. Alright. Now, let's see what that does for us. Okay, we're getting a little bit of that nice sort of smooth elbow movement there. So that's not too bad. Alright, so we're coming along. As far as this tutorial goes, we're about done with the framework. There might be one more polishing run through. And personally, I would probably run through this every single thing that I've animated. I'd probably go over it about 5 more times before I said, okay, we're moving on to polishing. This is still blocking. But, you know, for a basic like MMD tutorial or setting up a character in MLDVS or something for Warcraft or something like that, this is pretty decent.